time, there have been men to whom justice has been more important than life itself. From these ranks come 4 men, prepared to fight valiantly on the side of justice, wherever the need may be. Joined together in this cause, they are the 4 Just Men.
Come out with your hands above your heads. Come on, hurry.
Wait a minute. You're Banyan.
That's right, chum, but I'm traveling incognito. Take me to Colonel Parks, will you?
Yes? All right, bring him in.
Well, I'm back, sir.
So I see. You realize what this means, Banyan?
Means, sir?
6 weeks absent without leave, and tonight I understand you were found in some very odd company.
That's right, sir.
Oh, I'm glad you find it amusing. I'm putting you under close arrest until you can be brought before a court-martial on charges of desertion and consorting with the Queen's enemies. All right, take him away, Collins.
Yes, sir. Come on, get moving. Get moving. Mr. Manfred?
Yes?
We were told to expect you, sir. Will you follow me, please?
Right.
Sergeant, take Mr. Manfred's bag, sir.
Thank you.
This pass will take you wherever you want to go, Mr. Manfred.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Oh, we're always very pleasant to members of Parliament. You're not going to make any trouble for us, I hope.
I hope so, too.
Thanks for the pass.
A visitor for you, sir.
My name's Manfred. Do you mind if I come in?
You are in.
So I am. Corporal, do you mind waiting outside? I'd like to talk to Captain Banyan alone.
That's all right, sir. Just knock when you're ready to leave.
Look, if you're a journalist...
As a matter of fact, I'm a member of Parliament.
What you doing here, then? Canvassing?
I thought perhaps you might like to talk to me. Let's sit down.
Just why are you interested?
As a public servant, it's my business to be interested, not only in you. I'm on an official visit to look into the general situation here.
It'll take more than a weekend visit to find out about conditions here, or the people.
What do you feel about the people?
Well, they're not exactly savages, if that's what you mean.
As for my interest in you, I have a rather more personal reason.
Yeah, what's that?
Before I left, your mother came to see me.
How's she taking it?
No, she doesn't think you can be guilty.
Naturally, she'd feel that way.
Naturally. I went to see your commanding officer at Sandhurst. He doesn't see how an officer of your caliber could turn traitor.
Good of him to say so, in the circumstances.
Major Garrett, who's defending you at the court-martial, says that you're not offering any defense.
That's correct.
Why?
Looks as if I must be guilty, doesn't it?
Even a murderer caught with a smoking gun in his hand usually pleads not guilty.
He gets convicted just the same.
Do you want to be convicted?
I'll take what's coming to me.
You're a very odd young man.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you?
Yes, I do. And I don't want anybody butting in and messing it up. Well, I'm sorry you've been wasting your time. I got nothing to say to you. Is that clear?
As far as it goes.
Mr. Manfred's leaving, Corporal.
Yes, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
Well, let's make it au revoir.
You asked me why he did it? I don't know.
But there must be some reason with his training and background.
This is a theater of war, Mr. Manfred. I don't think you quite realize what that means. Discipline is essential, and I have to see that discipline is maintained. I'm afraid I can't help you.
Now, look, I was in the army too, Colonel. I'm not asking you to break discipline.
Well, then what do you want?
Justice.
Are you implying he won't get a fair trial?
Well, how can he if no attempt is being made to find out why he went over?
He has an officer to defend him at the court-martial.
But he's not putting in any defense.
Which would seem to suggest that he may be guilty, wouldn't it?
I can understand your resentment at my being here. To you, I'm just an interfering politician.
This is a military matter, Mr. Manfred. You politicians don't make our job out here any easier.
Believe me, I know the pressure you're under. And I don't want to add to your problems, but surely a few questions wouldn't do any harm. Look, tensions out here are great. I've known men with records as good as Banyan's and better, do strange, unaccountable things when breaking point is reached.
Yes. Yes, I know.
Well, what can I tell you?
Thank you. Before this happened, what was your opinion of Banyan as an officer?
I had the highest regard for him.
Did he never say anything to indicate how his mind was working?
Nothing.
Is any money worries?
Not that I know of.
I understand his wife is out here. Is there any trouble there?
I don't think so.
Well, perhaps it would be better to start with her.
Do you really think it's necessary to worry her?
Well, surely she must be a little worried already. Thank you, Colonel. And I hope you don't think I've wasted your time.
Well, it's your time, too.
Mr. Manfred?
Yes.
Please come in.
Thank you.
It was kind of you to telephone.
No, not at all. Look, I know you're going through a rough time, Mrs. Banyan, and I'd like to help you if I can.
I know. And I am grateful. Won't you sit down?
Oh, thank you.
Can I get you a drink?
Yes, I'd love a scotch. I saw your husband this morning.
Did he tell you anything?
Well, I wouldn't be troubling you if he had.
You think I have the explanation?
Well, you're his wife. If he told anyone, surely he'd tell you.
You have a very romantic view of marriage, Mr. Manfred.
What was wrong between you and your husband?
I didn't say there was anything wrong. We were a normal married couple. As happy as anyone can be in a dump like this.
Thank you. You mean the state of the island?
That and other things. Dirt and filth everywhere. No proper servants. Nothing to do. You go out in the day with your heart in your mouth, and in the evening there's a 6 o'clock curfew. It's worse than being in prison.
You married a soldier. You should have known what to expect.
No use pretending. We hadn't hit it off for some time. We hoped my coming out here might have helped things, but...
You think that might have caused him to run off as he did?
You mean I'm the reason for his going over?
What do you think?
No. No, I don't think so. In many ways, Bob was a devoted husband. But he was an even more devoted soldier. A woman needs something more than devotion from a man.
Yes, I know. One last question. How did he get on with the rest of the officers?
He's very popular, if that's what you mean. We used to have him over for cards in the evening. It was all very cozy.
And Colonel Parks?
What do you mean?
Did he get on with his commanding officer, Colonel Parks?
Yes? Why, did he tell you anything about that?
Should he have?
No, I just wondered.
Parks seems to have the highest regard for him.
Yes, he does. Do you think he has a chance of getting off? I'm sure if only we could get away, we might be able to make another start somehow.
I wish it were as simple as that. You see, your husband doesn't seem to want to get off.
Why?
Well, that's what I came here to find out.
I'm afraid I haven't been able to tell you very much.
On the contrary, You've told me a great deal. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bring in the prisoner.
Captain Banyan, the court has carefully considered the verdict brought against you, and its findings are unanimous. Clerk, read the verdict.
On the charge of desertion, you are found guilty. On the second charge, that of consorting with Her Majesty's enemies, the court also finds you guilty.
Captain Banyan, the crimes of which you have been found guilty are the most odious and disgraceful with which an officer can be charged. I sentence you to forfeit your commission, to be dishonorably discharged, and to serve a period of 2 years' detention in a military prison. Sentence will be promulgated and will be subject to confirmation by higher authority.
Prisoner, throughout the hearing of this case, you have stubbornly refused to say anything in your own behalf, and have, moreover, withheld from your defending officer knowledge of any special circumstances that might have been adduced in mitigation. At this late stage, you can scarcely fail to appreciate the gravity of your position.
Yes, sir.
And you have nothing to say?
No, sir.
Then it is my duty to remind you that you are at liberty to appeal against your sentence to a higher court, should you so desire.
Thank you, sir. I don't wish to appeal.
That is all.
Remove the prisoner. Court dismissed.
They have found him guilty.
Then he is our friend.
Hello. Ben.
Yes, Tim?
I had quite a time tracking you down. This is straight newspaper business. That trial of Banyan's is hitting the front pages. Is the result in yet?
The verdict is guilty on both counts. But if I were you, I'd inject a certain flavor of skepticism into your story. As far as I'm concerned, the case is not over.
You mean you don't think he's guilty?
No, it's just that I'm not satisfied with Banyan's story.
Mr. Oyster.
Ah, it's you. Well, don't look so pleased. You'll embarrass me. I was at the court-martial.
Yes, I saw you. Hope you enjoyed yourself.
Now, look, Banyan, this is no joking matter. You're not alone in this, you know. There are others to think of. Your wife, for one.
Oh, she'll understand.
And your mother. She was in a pretty bad state when I saw her.
Well, you didn't tell me. Well, for heaven's sake, sir, tell her not to worry. Tell her it's going to be all right.
How can I? Now, look, you're holding something back. What is it?
No, I'm sorry. I can't tell you. It's a service matter.
Oh, the heck with that. Now, look, Banyan, I'm an MP. A member of Parliament is privileged. He's like a doctor, you might say. You can tell him anything you choose in the certain knowledge that he'll never repeat it without your permission. Now, do you understand?
Well, all right. The main thing is there's nothing to worry about. The whole thing's been a plant.
Go on.
Well, we needed desperately to know what the nationalists were planning, where they were getting their arms from, and so on. The idea was I should go over the hill and act like a deserter. You know, sort of pretend to accept their ideas and generally infiltrate.
Most ingenious. And whose scheme was this?
Colonel Parks.
Parks? Are you inventing this?
Of course not. Why should I? You asked for the truth, I'm telling you.
When I saw Colonel Parks, he made no mention of it.
Well, naturally, he wouldn't tell you. It's a military matter. But you can imagine my surprise when our chaps pulled me in and he just looked me straight in the eye and told me I was going to be court-martialed.
That hadn't been arranged beforehand.
No, as a matter of fact, the colonel told me afterwards he'd had to do some pretty quick thinking. You see, if he'd just welcomed me back, my cover would have been blown sky high. This way, the next time I meet the nationalists, I'll be a convicted traitor and they'll tell me anything.
Meanwhile, you're still in jail.
Yes, I won't be for long. The colonel will see to that.
I see. A contrived escape?
Yes, exactly.
Tell me, apart from you and the Colonel, does anyone else know about this?
Nobody.
Doesn't your wife know?
No.
Hasn't it occurred to you that if Colonel Parks got a bullet through him one night, there would be nobody left to corroborate your story?
No, it hadn't.
I'm beginning to think there are quite a few things you haven't thought about.
What do you mean, sir?
If what you've told me is true, you could really be in trouble. I have bad news for you, I'm afraid.
The sentence has been confirmed. He's guilty.
No, he's innocent.
What do you mean?
Did it never occur to you that your husband was acting under orders when he deserted, that in fact he never deserted at all?
No, it didn't.
Why are you lying?
I'm not lying. Bob never told me anything.
And you had so much faith in him that you believed that he could turn traitor?
Oh, no. No. Anyway, he's all right now. That's all that matters.
I said he was innocent. It's not quite the same thing. Only two people know the truth about this, your husband and the man who sent him on this absurd and dangerous mission, the man who wants to have him killed, Colonel Parks.
Oh, no. No, Jerry wouldn't do that. He couldn't. Jerry couldn't.
You've given me the proof I needed.
I won't believe you.
Do you deny your relationship with Parks?
No. No, I was desperate. I was so lonely and
And your husband?
How can you understand?
I understand only too well. Whatever you have done is between you and your own conscience. I just want to prevent your husband's death being on your conscience, too.
Well done, Banyan.
Thank you, sir.
So much for phase one. Now for phase two.
When do we start, sir?
Tonight, here. Take this. At 10 o'clock tonight, there'll be a motorcycle just beyond that wall. Corporal Bates shouldn't give you much trouble. Truss him up and lock him in. Make sure that he's tightly gagged. I'll see to it there's not much of a guard outside. The rest is up to you. Do you think you can handle it?
Yes, I think so, sir.
Good, good. And I don't think I need tell you that any breach of security at this stage could jeopardize the whole operation.
Good evening, Colonel. I was just coming to see you. Do you mind if I walk along with you?
No, I'd recommend it. This is a dangerous neighborhood after curfew. Anybody's liable to take a shot at you.
You think so?
Oh, yes, particularly a member of Parliament. You'll be quite a feather in their cap. What do you want to see me about?
Banyan. The fact that you detailed him to pose as a deserter and then had him court-martialed to back up his cover story.
Where'd you get that from?
From Banyan.
You realize what you've done, don't you? You've induced an officer to betray a military secret. This could have very serious consequences for you.
And for you.
What do you mean?
Well, under the circumstances, I considered it my duty to report the whole matter to the War Office.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
Why not?
It might cause you quite a lot of trouble.
I'll risk that. Do you ever read the Bible?
Bible? When I read the lesson at the Sunday church service, why do you ask?
In that case, perhaps I can give you a text for next Sunday.
Thank you very much. And what do you suggest?
It's from the Old Testament, the story of David and Bathsheba. She was the wife of one of his captains, Uriah, and King David fell for her, or as the Bible puts it, lusted after her, you remember? He issued an order. Set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle, and retire ye from him, that he may be smitten and die. Good night, Colonel.
Hold, who goes there? Friend. Advance, friend, and be recognized.
Manfred, I'd like to see Captain Banyan.
Sorry, sir, no one allowed in tonight. Colonel Park's orders.
I think my pass covers that, Sergeant.
Well, you can go in, but I wouldn't stay too long if I was you, sir. We're expecting trouble tonight.
Oh, are you?
Open up.
Thank you, Sergeant.
Sorry about this, Bates.
I hear you're expecting trouble.
That's right, sir. We've doubled the guard. Mr. Banyan's not the only prisoner we got in here. There's another little lot in there that we picked up with him. The Colonel's expecting a breakout tonight.
They sound quiet enough. Don't be a fool, Banyan.
Stand aside, both of you.
Leave this to me, sir.
Banyan, go back!
Guard! Guard! Did you know that?
You're walking into a trap!
Captain Banyan's locked himself in there, Sarge.
All right, Mr. Banyan, coming up, your hands up. Stand away, then.
Pull out the guard!
You four men get back to the compound. Give the alarm, make sure he doesn't get over the walls. You get that searchlight working as fast as you can. Mr. Manfred, you'll get yourself killed!
There is fighting in the prison. Our friends are trying to escape.
Then we must help them. Quickly!
Number 2 squad, surround the block. Double up there.
Banyan! Banyan! Stay where you are. I've got to talk to you.
Don't shoot! It is our friend!
I'm going up, Sergeant. You stay here in case Captain Banyan tries to double back.
Right, sir.
You have my permission to shoot if necessary.
Yes, sir.
Strike number 2 searchlight. Get a move on.
Keep away. Don't be a fool, Banyan. You'll only make things worse for yourself. You understand, I'm acting under orders. Colonel Parks' orders.
Yes, is it part of his plan?
It's also a part of his plan to have you dead, shot while trying to escape. Mad, why should he? Because he wants your wife.
I don't believe you.
I tell you it's true. Now drop that gun and come down before it's too late.
I'm afraid it is too late for both of you.
Look out! Parks! Banyan! How are you feeling?
Vindictive. I've just been reading Parks' confession. I hope they send him up for life.
He died an hour ago.
I suppose I ought to feel sorry.
Oh, you're in the clear now, anyway.
I can't begin to thank you
Well,
enough.
don't start, because I've got a plane to catch.
Goodbye, sir.
Good luck.